So, full transit custom, 17 plate with 40 odd thousand on the clock. Still running original front cover, so it will have original belt. In for full service and Wetbelt replacement. Oil filter's rusty, so that'll get all replaced. The sump plug and sump starting to rust again, that's all going to get replaced. I'll start with draining the oil out, get the filter off, and we drop that hose off there, that coolant hose, drain all the coolant. I replace the coolant on every Wetbelt job, everyone does it different. If you want to remove the air box, which I've obviously done, and pipe work, shift this to the side. This will unclip in a minute and we'll shift that to the side. We're just making a bit of space because we're going to be working in this area here for quite some time, so we want to make sure we're all clear. The reason I take the coolant hoses off is because I disconnect this hose here and this back hose. So what I do is I take this hose off here, I swing this electronic water pump out of the way, that hose there, take the clip off, swing it over. If I've got coolant in there, it's going everywhere, so drain it out from the bottom. Like I say, it all gets replaced at the end of the job anyway, and yeah, we'll pick it up in a minute. So we're picking this up now. So now we've removed the tensioner, we have removed the dry belts. Guide pulley's got to be removed from this. Power steering pump has to be removed. You've got two 10mm in there. 1, 2, there's one underneath, you'll do from underneath. This one, however, has got a cover across the dry belt. That's what all these studs are around. They still have these studs anyway, some have, some don't. The early ones do, some of them do, some don't. Literally 10mm nut at the back there. That'll be done at the top, all the other ones, and then there's a 10mm bolt here that goes into the actual mount itself for the cover, 10mm nut. There's a couple more bolts down the bottom. We're now going to remove this 20mm, this is your water drain hole here. These ones are mega tight, so what I normally use, normally 1/2 inch if you got it. I've got a snap on long, massive, extra long 3/8, so that's what I used to crack it off initially. And then all I do then is get my long flexi edge ratchet. You'll see how tight this is. This is mega tight all the way till the end, so I've got Loctite on it. It's quite a thick bolt basically. So once this has been removed, we're going to remove the power steering pump, and then we'll work our way around the top cover bolts, and then we'll get onto the crank pulley bolt in a minute. Like I say, this is quite a thick, and it's Loctite as well. New one of these will go in when you fit the new cover. You get a new one in the bag, in the box, in the bag. Right. Now we're going to undo all these 8mm here. We get the power steering pump off next, 10mm, and then we do the bottom one. Once that's released and that's out of the way, we'll get these top bolts off and carry on at the bottom. So we're now at the crankshaft removal of the pulley. There are similar tools out there. I use Draper. What you want to do, you want to put your tool up there. There's an insert as well that goes in at the back here that bolt presses against. 30mm, tighten those up. This one's a 17. Even, I say we're using a tool, these are so tight to come off. If you don't use tooling on them, you'll break the pulleys and you'll damage the front of the engine. Worst case scenario. So this is what I use. So there you go. One pulley comes off in one piece. There's no damage to it, which is good. That's your insert. Your bolt butts up against that, pushes it against it. We're now going to remove these 8mm. There's a 13mm and a 10. The rest of the 8s, we'll get those off, we'll get the cover off, and we'll set the timing marks up. So, timing's at CDC. I've done my own reference mark there. That idler gear marks up with the crank sprocket. You've also got a pin up there, another mark there. That one up there is for your diesel pump, over there, high pressure pump. Timing's out again. So if you put the timing tool in, don't go in. Put the timing tool, don't go in. So the way of testing how far out is, if you use the tensioner tool that you get given to you with the new cam belt tensioner, they normally fit. That don't go in, and that don't go in. So what I'll do is I want to clean all this up because I don't want the debris to get onto the pulleys. Just try and sort of stop that as much as I can. Once I've got all this cleaned up around the whole circumference, belt will be removed, cams will be adjusted. Before that, and once this is cleaned up, I will mark it there and there, there and there. Once it's all been timed properly, we'll mark it again to show how far out it is. People say, why are you marking it if you're using the tooling? Well, let me tell you something, you've got to make sure these are timed correctly. You can't just go, well that's all right, just time it like that. It's not right, the pins don't go in, so if the pins ain't going in, it's not timed right, is it? So I use the marks as a reference point, also shows how far out the cams are. Another day, another wet belt. Look how blue that's got. This has got the same part number as the other one I saw, ending AC, so that's the original tensioner. New one to go on is AH. They've actually changed the construction of these as well. That's your notch, you've got to line that up in the block. The originals have got an extra piece there, so through the years they've basically upgraded the tensioner. Belt, running original belt there. It's the original part number. I don't even pick it up, but it's cracking quite badly there, so it needs to be done on years anyway. New belt to be fitted, latest spec you can get. Just want to make a note really, a lot of people seem to think the eBay kits are cheaper. My ones are dated 2024, so any kit you get from me fitted will be the latest spec. Those timing covers as well have been upgraded through the years or through the time. They've got a green seal, that will have a black seal on it. A lot of people doing wet belts and putting black, the old style cover. I fit the latest.